Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. This is my favorite multimeter. I've used it on many of my videos. I particularly like the screen. It's quite bright and the letters are quite big. Most of the time I use it standing up like this, but sometimes I also, for the videos, I put it down like this so the camera can capture it well. It's a bit power hungry, so the batteries, it takes three AAA batteries, and they probably last me about 6 months. Now, that's not terribly bad, but still, I've had this in mind to make it work on a rechargeable battery. So I have a battery here, which I removed from a phone power case in video number, it was either 48 or 49. I'll put a link to that video here. And then I have this module, quite cheap module, less than $1, I think like 50 or 60 cents. Uh, it's supposed to be a charger and a boost board. So you can charge a battery and also you can set a voltage, I think between 4.2 and 28 volts, 24 volts, something like that. And I have a couple of leads here with connectors. So the plan is to change this multimeter so that I can use this battery on it. And this way I'll no longer have to toss away 3 batteries every 6 months. I'm going to start by checking the voltage on this battery. So we have 3.9 volts. Okay, so that's a fair charge. Now let me open this and then we can run a few tests on it. Make sure it works as advertised. I see battery minus and battery plus. Here we have the battery minus, and there we have the battery plus. And then the two other items to note, this is V out plus and V out minus. And then this here looks like potentially like a small potentiometer. This I believe is what sets the voltage, the output voltage. So we basically need to connect the battery here and here, minus and plus, and then I'll play with this, what I believe is a potentiometer, and measure the voltage here. I want to get 4.5 volts since the multimeter works on 3 AAA batteries. That totals 4.5 volts. Alright, let me solder this battery to the battery plus and battery minus. So this is what I've done. I soldered the battery plus and battery minus, plus and minus. And just to show you a bit the rest of the board, this is the USB-C in to charge the battery. And then this is what I was calling and I'm calling the potentiometer. It's a Phillips screwdriver, and I assume you turn it one way. The output voltage here, V out plus and V out minus. So you turn this one way, the voltage is going to go up. You turn it the other way, the voltage is going to go down. So the next thing I'm going to do is measure what voltage we have currently here, and then play around with this potentiometer to try and get 4.5 volt output. So let's do that. Okay, so we're at 5.326 volts, and I'm gonna turn this clockwise and see what happens. Okay, it seems it's going down. Can you see that? 4.8, 7, 4.6. Okay, look, I'm gonna stop it at 4.5. Alright, that is gonna be 4.5 volts. which is what we need for the multimeter. The next step, should we test the charging? Yes. Let me test the charging of the battery. So at the battery input we have 3.93 volts currently in this battery. So let me bring up my USB meter. I finally figured out how to show it in OBS. Alright, so we have a red LED here on the module. I'll show you in a moment. But if you notice here, it's drawing almost 1 amp now. And I'll measure the voltage. Let me measure the voltage, and we should see that it's going up, the voltage on the battery. So minus, plus 4.019. There you go. You can see the numbers going up. It's slow, but it's going up. We're up to 4.02324. Keep in mind, this is a big battery. It's a 6,000 milliamp hour battery, so it'll take quite a while to charge it. Yep, definitely going up. So the charging part works fine. And let me see, do we still have, I'm pretty sure the output will still be active even while charging, but let's double check that. Yeah, we're still getting the 4.5 volts output while charging. So far everything is going as expected. I am now going to solder this connector to the output of the module. So let's do that. Plus, minus. Minus. No, plus. So this is what we have. I should now be seeing the 4.5 volts on this terminal. Let's measure that. Red, plus, back, minus. So, plus, minus. 4.5 volts, as expected. Okay, time to open up the battery compartment and do a test. Okay, I believe the plus is right here and the minus is here. I'm going to test that with my bench power supply. Let's see here. I'm going to set it to 4.5 and then I'll give it, I don't know, 350, 340 milliamps. And I'm saying it's plus. I'm going to go like this. There we go. So this is now running off of the bench power supply. I'm just touching the plus and minus probes of the power supply, and it's on. Okay, I'm going to remove the probes of the power supply, and this is going to go off. There we go. Okay, so this works just fine. The next thing I want to do is to solder the female connector to the terminals of the multimeter here. So this is what I ended up with. Yeah, I know I melted a bit plastic here and a bit here, but what can I do? That's the best I could do it. And now we're going to do some testing. First I'm going to test it. It's off. I'm going to test it with the battery and the module. Yeah, it worked. And my other criteria was to be able to still use it with batteries while this connector is soldered on. So let's see if that's still working. Minus plus and minus plus. Okay, so the batteries fit quite nicely. Let's see. Yeah, working on battery also. The next thing I'm going to do is to grind away. I have a grinder. I'm going to grind away here so that I can bring these cables and pass them through here, because I want to keep this kickstand. Most of the time I use my multimeter standing up, as I said before. So when I put it in now, the gap is not big enough. So I want to grind away here at the plastic so that these wires can come out easily and then still be able to use the kickstand. Alright, so I'm going to show a little bit what I'm going to be doing. This is the grinding pin I'm talking about, and I'm just going to grind here. So as you can see, I'm just widening this gap here. Alright, I'm going to keep working on this and be back with you shortly. So what I ended up having to do was I used my soldering iron with a disposable tip to make two grooves. I don't know how well you can see them, but I made two grooves here and here so that I can put the cables through them. So let me try and show you what I mean. Like so. So the cables will go in those channels, those grooves, so that then this cover can hold it down. Otherwise the cover will not close properly, because the wire makes it too high for this to close. Alright, that's done, and now I'm gonna close it up. Alright, let's give it a test. Yeah, working fine. Now, I want to put the battery on this kickstand, and then have the module here. So it will look something like this. I'm going to use, I have some Velcro with a glued side. Now the reason I want to do this is that if I ever need to take this away from the bench to, let's say, work on the car or something, then I will simply detach this connector, and then I can remove the Velcro, and then I can just go and work with this wherever I want. So it will be mobile. Alright, so now I'm just going to peel this and then stick the battery and the module. There we go. And then for charging, it's right there. That's the USB-C. Let's go ahead and try it one more time. Let me bring the USB meter. There we go. And let's plug this in. And yeah, as you can see, we're getting almost 1 amp again. And I didn't show you the red light before. Let me do it now. So that's the red light. And from what I read in the documentation of this module, there's a blue light. I think it comes on when it's fully charged or something along those lines. So anyway, even though now it's charging, I think I could be using it at the same time. Yeah, let me plug in the probes and give it a quick live test. There's the minus, plus, and I'll go on continuity. You should hear the beep and see a red light here. There we go. So this is working very nicely. Okay, let me unplug it. And I can remove the USB meter. And now, when I want to take it and work on it on the car, I disconnect this, I disconnect the cable, and then carefully pry the battery off, and then the module off. Like so. Alright, the multimeter is back together. Last test. There we go. Continuity. All good. So this is what I ended up with. I had to forego using the flat battery because after trying to remove it a few times from the Velcro, I inadvertently broke the positive tab from here. So I've sealed it off now, and this is going to go into storage for many, many years without use. So anyway, this is what I ended up with, which is fine. It's fairly legible, and if need be, I can just put like a shim on this side to make it flatter. If I want it to be a bit flatter, I could do that. But I believe it is quite legible like this from the camera here. One other issue I'm going to address is this cable is a bit short. The connector and the cable, it's a bit short because most of the time when I have it on my bench, it's on the stand. But I can't open the stand now because this cable is not long enough. So I'm going to make these wires longer so that if need be, I can just push them to the side and then open the kickstand and put it on my bench. But I'll do that offline. I don't need to show you that stuff. There we go. I'm going to do the charging one last time. Let me put the meter. There we go. And we're going to plug it in. Okay. And it's taking less, you notice it's taking less amps, this one. It's because the battery is almost full. Let me unhook it and I'll show you. I need to use my other multimeter to show you, but So this is on voltage DC, and we're gonna go minus, plus. There you go, 4.16, which means it's almost full, because at 4.2 it's pretty much full. There we go, 4.16, and that's why it's charging at a lower rate. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, and see you on the next one. Bye bye.